Hello and welcome to the Above Average Podcast, the only AA meeting worth attending. We're the refuge for the slightly above average. I'm your host, Link, and with me as always is my co-host, Tanim. Tanim, it's been a while.
I know. It's been like...
The entire length of the quarantine.
4 months?
Yeah. Like, back when you saw me, like, I had, like, super cropped hair because I just had a job interview and, like, no beard.
Fresh shave.
Exactly, yeah. Fresh.
Baby face.
Looked like a 12-year-old neo-Nazi on my LinkedIn profile.
You gotta change that.
No, I know, I do at some point, but, like, and the marketing person at my last company changed my, or gave me my LinkedIn profile picture, and I've just used the same one ever since.
You made it for you?
Yeah. Like, we all got our company pictures taken one day, and I've just kept it ever since. But I'm like 22 in the picture, but it's the only picture of me in a suit where I'm not like sweating buckets because I'm at a ball or something like that.
Just get him to Photoshop it.
Like Photoshop a beard onto me,
or a blazer.
Is this? No. I'm wearing like.
Now, like you can just have a t-shirt on and like take a picture and you can put a suit on you.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I thought you were saying, like, Photoshop a beard on it. Just, like, fix it in post of my profile.
Fix it in post.
Fix it in post. That's what we're doing. Everything here, we're fixing in post. I thought we were gonna, like, you know, try and start out with a topic or something, but then, like, I just started doing my official podcast Twitter. And,
Fun.
I'm trying to figure out, like, who to follow to get started. I'm just browsing through it. Just out of spite, I don't really want to follow the Kardashians. Wiz Khalifa, I'll follow you.
You draw a line at Kim Kardashian, but Wiz...
Yeah, Wiz, I'll follow
Wiz gets a follow.
Well, Wiz Khalifa actually works. Like, I can't name anything he actually sings, but, I imagine he actually works for his money. Like, it's just, that's it. Or LeBron, New York Times. Oh.
LeBron's not working right now, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess no one's really working right now. Okay, I can't follow anyone.
Everyone's canceled.
Everyone is 100% canceled, especially you, Obama. I'll follow you. I'm not following Obama anymore. He doesn't... He's not president anymore. I don't care what he does.
Not even Michelle Obama?
No.
No Obamas?
What has Michelle Obama done? I can't follow Michelle Obama. Like, seriously. Like, I mean that completely unironically. Like, what actually has Michelle Obama done? Like...
You guess I gotta follow her on Twitter.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, it's just like, I'm not saying she's a bad person or anything. It's just like, I'm just like not
worth a follow.
Not really interested in like in like the updates of their daily life. Like it's just like, yes, you're doing really well and your life is much better than mine. Thank you. It's why I can't follow like the rich kids of Instagram for that either. It just makes me feel bad. Like
that's why you get a TikTok account.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. One thing I learned from this is, like, Global News has a TikTok account, which means, like, I'm just imagining someone doing, like, the Fortnite dances, but, like, in front of, like, Syrian refugees. 3 million refugees are currently living in Lebanon, or something like that.
You gotta learn how to floss somewhere.
Yes. It's like, pay attention, kids. This is how you make money in the West. We'll make you stars. That's how we're getting you out of here. I was actually at a refugee, or I wasn't at the refugee, drove by a refugee camp on the Syrian border, and right now I kind of feel bad I didn't teach them valuable skills like being influencers. But yeah, exactly. I feel that just makes me feel like a genuinely bad person. Yeah. So yeah, that's a problem that started. But so just browsing through like people's Twitters, everyone's got their blue checks on.
Got to be verified.
Exactly, got to be verified. So wait, who did you say was canceled? Kim Kardashian is canceled in my book just for not working. But this is something that's been on my mind. So a lot of people are taking down statues and stuff, and I was just thinking, how bad does a person have to be before you don't get a statue anymore? Like, obviously Hitler doesn't get a statue. Like, even if it's like memorializing him for making the Autobahn, you can't have a statue of Hitler. Like, right. I totally agree with that. But like, some people will say like, oh, Abraham Lincoln was bad to Native Americans, so no statues of Abraham Lincoln. That I don't know if I'm on board with that, but Like, I don't know. What do you think? I have a line myself, but what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everyone either getting canceled or their statue being torn down, or
but I think that I have the optimal way to determine if someone deserves to have a statue. And that is if the worst thing they ever did is in the first paragraph of their Wikipedia page. that is objectively the right thing
I mean, you can change your Wikipedia.
That's true. So smart people will be changing their Wikipedia page. But, Winston Churchill's definitely too dead for that.
Well, just like how people are changing their Twitter profiles.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean by that?
Well, because of the whole cancel culture, everyone's kind of changing their bios and
deleting
their tweets of
combing through 10 years of like what you did, after middle school to like delete middle school Facebook. Like they have to like go back and delete every joke they ever made about gay people or something. Yeah. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So yeah, no, but Edward. I think my system works the best just because. So, remember the statue in Bristol, like the one they dragged into the harbor, Edward Colston. So Edward Colston is not fondly remembered because I believe he was the founder of the British West Africa Company, or otherwise really involved in the slave. So let's just check his. All right, here we go. So we're checking his Wikipedia page now. So. The first sentence, Edward Colston was an English merchant, philanthropist, and Tory member of Parliament who was involved in the Atlantic slave trade. First sentence, boom. He doesn't get a statue.
He gets canceled.
No statue for him.
Nope.
No statue for him. Whereas like Winston Churchill would be like Prime Minister of England, and then like later down as like causer of the Bengali famine and founder of the Black and Tans kind of thing. Yeah. So he gets a statue because like. The anti-Catholic death squads are further down the list. So good old Winston still gets his statue outside of Parliament. I think that's fair.
I mean, yeah, based on the wiki.
Yeah, exactly. Wikipedia knows all. Like Wikipedia is the arbiter of knowledge. So I understand you wanted to talk about the automated email you got. So. We have a dispute over whether or not you explain it.
Yeah, I mean, like with applying jobs, people are unemployed. A lot of them are unemployed right now, and just the thought of getting a rejection email. Like, are they all automated? The one that I got seemed genuine, but then when you read it and we both read it seemed like it was definitely a robot wrote it, and it just seemed that they're trying to kind of fake being sincere when they're actually not.
Yeah, it's the next level of rejection email. So like, some of you have experienced this before where like, I don't know, you apply for a job at a bank and, 2 minutes later, the algorithm that decides you're not experienced enough automatically sends you a rejection notification. It's like, hello, your name.
Within minutes.
Yeah, within minutes, yeah. So, really generic email. It's obviously based on a template, and maybe they'll try and insert your name once into the email, like, hello, your name. And I always notice it's automated because, like, I always put my first name and my middle name, so it will say, like, hello, Lake Eric. So that's how I know it's a robot.
It's like, how did you know my middle name?
Yeah, exactly. But so, like, the email you showed me, that was an interesting one because it was from the president of the company.
Right, and it had my name, 4 times in it?
Yeah, so that's what tipped me off. So on the one hand, it's from an actual person's actual email. It's not a generic do not reply HR email. So it is actually the honest to God email of the president of this company. It is their name at thecompaniesname.com. But as you mentioned, how many times was it?
4 or 5 times.
4 or 5 times. So in their email, they said they listed Tanim's name a bunch of times. So it was like, hello, Tanim. And that's normal. People will say your name once in an email.
At least in the headline.
Exactly, yeah. So, but they'll never say your name like 3 times or like in the body of the email.
Right.
Like that's something only a robot would do. It's like, and it's only ever at the beginning and the end of sentences. So it's like, we're excited to receive your application, Tanim. So in normal conversation, you just don't really refer to people by their name. You might at the beginning.
Maybe once.
Yeah, maybe once, but definitely not. This was too many times, which is why I think it was an automated email. But what is it? So that's my Turing test.
Right.
If you say someone's name too often, like that means you're a robot. Like it's trying too hard to humanize yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like it's great when you get like sincere ones from like an actual human being. Unfortunately, you didn't make the cut, but this one just seemed at first genuine, and then once you was like, wait.
Yeah, it's like an abstract painting. Like the more you look at it, the more is wrong with it.
Right. You just can't look at it too.
Yeah, like I mean, I just thought of that right now. Like, why is your name like? If it was not a template, you'd think like your name, I don't know, might be in like the middle of sentences and
Yep.
not the beginning or end. Like that makes me think it's like some kind of script that's doing it. But this also made me think like, have you ever been in? How often if you're in a relationship with someone, do you refer to them by their name?
Never.
Yeah, exactly. Like not even once. I only ever refer to my girlfriend as Jenny, like kind of to make fun of her. Like if I'm doing like a Forrest Gump impression, I'll do like, I love you, Jenny. like something like that. But
Yeah.
I'll never like say like, Jenny, can you do this? I'll just say like, hey, can you do this? Or, you know, whatever it is. But it seems unnatural to call someone by their name.
Right. Even in the workforce, it's just like you need someone, you might say their name, but you
Yeah, at the beginning. But not like in the middle of the sentence. That just sounds unnatural.
Right.
But this led me to the startling conclusion that, you know, I could be in a relationship for basically years and not have to know the person's name.
Mulva?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, exactly. So the episode of Seinfeld where Jerry doesn't know her name, he could have kept that up forever. Like there's not one situation that's really brought up where he'd need to know her name. Like until, I don't know, introducing her to your parents or something like that, or talking about her to other people.
Yeah.
That would be a problem, but you could make it work. So you the viewers, I challenge you to next time you go on a date with someone, like try and see how long you can last without learning their name. Like just see if it works. It might, who knows? It might even like add like an element of mystery. Maybe you don't like hate the person as much if they do something wrong because you don't have a name for them in your head.
Their names might be Dolores.
Yeah, it's probably just Dolores.
Never know.
Yeah, I thought that was a stretch. That's like people who don't have bad names like me, like
Yep.
they don't understand what it's like to actually have a bad name. Like kids will be able to make fun of anything. Like no matter what your name is, like if your name is like Ben, they'll come up with something that rhymes with it that I can't think of off the top of my head.
Or constantly mispronounce your name and add vowels.
Exactly. Hey, Bean.
Adding 2 E's or extra consonants. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, you know, your name's vaguely foreign.
Sure, but
like,
it's
do people have trouble with that all the time? Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah,
Especially the kind of Caucasian individuals who, I don't know why, well, they'll just add E's and I's and just different letters. And
it doesn't, because Tanim's not really a hard name, at least not to spell it. It's not like, you know, like a super long name. Doesn't have a lot of syllables, doesn't have a lot of letters that shouldn't be there. It's
5 letters, 2 syllables.
Exactly. What was the one everyone back at work called you back when we worked at Firm? It was a Tanim.
Extra E's.
Tanim. I don't know what it is about that one. That one just kind of stuck.
You just got to put them in their place. Like, nope, I'm not doing work for you. Ask the other brown guy. There wasn't another brown guy? Okay.
Oh yeah, because we had an IT guy who was Indian, and he quit like kind of shortly before you left, and you weren't the IT. Like for viewers listening, Tanim was not the IT guy, but because Tanim arrived, you know, around the same time our previous guy. Yeah, everyone thought he was the new IT guy.
With zero IT experience.
Exactly. That is the extent of diversity at that.
So diverse.
At that office. Yes, exactly. It's just, yes, you can be IT people. But I mean, I can't say anything because like we had an intern and I could never remember his name, and I just dyslexicked up his name all the time, and to this day I still kind of get it
Refer
mixed
to
up.
him.
Yeah,
I
so
always refer to him as
so his name is Tawfik, which I don't know how to spell that, but Tawfik, and I called him Fatik once, like
nice.
mixed up the F and the T, and I just after that point I could not remember which way was right.
I'm sure he loved it. He loved being Fatik.
Did I ever call him that to his face?
You did.
Oh, damn. Now I feel bad. Oh, the poor interns at that company.
I mean, everyone nicknames their coworkers at first.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, he probably just thought I was being a dick and giving him a nickname and not just like
And the fact that he was an
genuinely
intern.
mispronouncing his name.
Right.
No, but I love that kid because he was like all the other kids knew someone at the company, like you know, but you know he like was there on his own initiative, so I respected that.
He was my number one stapler.
Man, I love having interns. Like
You
can
gotta
just,
delegate somehow.
exactly, like you can just give them whatever you want. It's great. Like well, you know, not something they could screw up too badly, but like you know,
Some of the interns screwed up stapler.
yeah,
That's why he was my number one stapler.
Yes, Tawfik, if you're listening, you are a number one stapler.
That's why I gave him the stapler award.
Yeah, you just stole a stapler from the office and
I
just
wrote
gave it.
number one.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, as long as he knows. Yeah, that was oh, that was good. Yeah, I'm now just getting my interns to check my work, like do all the tedious.
Did you interns were?
Yeah. They had well, we have like 2 interns for our team, and they just say like, hey, if you got any work for the interns, they'll be happy to do it. And you know, the interns don't really do a lot all day, like which is like not their fault. They're just not really like delegated tasks. Yeah. So, you know, they're really happy to have work because otherwise they're bored out of their minds. And I'm sure they're like doubly bored because now everyone's starting and it's COVID and they've probably never even been to the office. Like they've probably been to the office once to pick up their laptops. That's about it.
Or seen coworkers.
Yeah, exactly. So I know I started my new job recently and literally the first day of the lockdown.
Yeah, you started right when COVID hit.
Yeah, exactly. Like March 17th. And I was there one day, picked up my laptop, met 2 people from my office, and then I was home. And so that transition's been interesting. Like, especially considering I never worked from home. But you know, you're Mr. High Roller. You worked from home before. It's
definitely not for
different?
everyone. You can get easily distracted, especially if you have kids or some people can't do it. I know a lot of people who actually just still work in their office and then they come home even during COVID, and that's the only way they can get work done.
Yeah, no, that I can appreciate that just because it's hard to think of of your home space as a workspace. I know, it's fine for me because like I always did homework at my desk in university, so that was fine. But I took a trip just to visit my mom, and I was trying to work while I was going there, not so I could not take any vacation time, and that just did not work at all.
Yeah, a lot of people think just because you're at home that you're not working.
Yeah, I mean, part of why it didn't work was because, you know, only my mother and I were actually working, and the other, like, you know, like my sister, my stepdad, and like no one else in the house was working at that time, so we were outnumbered by people who just wanted to like order pizza and sit on the deck. So it's a little. It's much harder when you're outnumbered. Like living with someone else who works, that I find I can deal with.
Because everyone's in their own quarters and
yeah, especially if you have designated spaces, like I find like that works. But if you're outnumbered by the people who don't work, then it's a non-working household. Like, you know, just imagine if it's like take your kid to work day.
Every day.
Yeah, exactly. No one actually works on take your kid to work day. Like you'll do like 1 or 2 maybe important things. At least that's what I got the impression of.
You just take half the day and just take them out to lunch, and that's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. I remember my mother took me on take your kid to work day, and I was the number 1 stapler.
Got to go to someone.
Yeah, I think I loaded paper in the copier and stapled a few things, and that was about it. I think I tried to like get into the ceiling tiles or something.
I feel like they need to issue like training programs whenever you're a new employee of how to use the company's printer.
Yeah, no,
everyone has problems, and everyone just will ask the person next to the printer, like, do you know how to do this or send this? Like, no.
No, yeah, and,
For the first day.
and then you accidentally become like the
The
designated
go-to
expert.
printer guy
No, yeah. Wait, is that what happened to you?
at Firm
That's
and some other places.
but I mean, you're the marketing guy. You're using the printer all the time. Make flyers, make handouts for the shareholders and stuff.
I'm not the IT guy.
That's fair.
Even though I was associated as the IT guy at Firm.
Yeah, well, maybe it was that, but yeah, yeah. But I mean, part of it was like, I mean, the printer, like, no one there is actually an expert on the printer. Like, the guy comes from outside the building to actually fix it. Like, we had to like call him.
Right.
Yeah. Oh shit! I just remembered. Like, so, like I mentioned before, like I've only been to the office once. Like, basically to pick up my computer, learn about my passwords, and like, have the boss tell me like where to, find my pay stubs.
Right. Like when I was working there, like I had to tell someone how to use the phone.
Yeah.
Just like dial 9. Like,
but now I don't know, like, so I don't know how the phones work, and I don't know how the printer works. So I'm a little screwed on that front for when we actually go back. Which I think. What do you think? Like, it looks like at least not until next year.
Yeah, it's not anytime soon. I definitely think it's probably.
Yeah. That's probably true. If we have anyone interested in playing the stock market, the company that got the contract from the U.S. government to produce the vaccine is called Novavax. Is it called Novavax?
No clue.
Novavax. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah.
How do you know that?
Invest in Novavax. They have the vaccine. or don't. Like, they might end up like getting the contract and then not actually end up making the vaccine, and I don't know what would happen after that. I don't know anything about Novavax. Don't invest in Novavax.
Great disclaimer.
Yeah, exactly. Don't follow any of my investment advice. I don't know what I'm talking about. Everyone buy index funds. There we go. Yeah, that's the extent of my... So, just a little bit of background on me. Like, I'm a finance guy. Like, I work in securities and banking and accounting and whatnot. And so lots of people will come to me and ask me for advice on financial matters that I know nothing about. So like, everyone's always trying to say like, what stocks should I invest in? Just don't. Don't buy stocks.
As someone who knows stocks.
Yeah, exactly. As someone who I don't even think I know stocks, but to the extent that I know them, don't buy stocks. Buy index funds. Don't buy stocks. And my aunt came to me.
What to invest in?
No. To figure out the tax implications of my grandmother's will. Like, and my grandmother has 10 kids. And
very specific.
Yeah, 10 kids, 20 grandkids, and like none of them are accounts. I don't know how the hell that happened. Like, so I became, and I'm kind of like an under the radar middle cousin. So no one ever comes to me for advice.
You're the accountant.
Exactly. So that was jarring. Anyone come to you like for I don't know, marketing? Like, how do I market this?
Yeah, or like make me a logo. It's like, okay. That narrows it down.
Okay, but you actually can, like, I get that that's like a big word, but you can actually make a logo.
Yeah, but there's a lot more specifics. It's like, if someone asks you, do my taxes, there's going to be follow-up questions.
Fair enough, yeah. No, but what I more mean is, like, given a certain amount of specifications, you could kind of figure out how to make a logo for a person.
Right, there's just a lot of details that goes into it.
No, whereas like me, it's like I don't work in estates or anything like that. I know nothing about people's wills.
And then pricing is a whole new issue with anything creative. It's just like, oh, logos, so $25? Yeah? Great.
I mean, I have no idea how much it costs to design a logo. I mean, I probably wouldn't say $25, but...
I'm not going to say a person's name, but marketing guy, you can give me a logo? I'm like, no. What do you mean?
Wait, like, you mean just for, like, personal use? Or
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because, like, that was a funny time. Yeah, I think half of all workplace conflict is just people not understanding what other people do, or like what's reasonable.
You need to communicate, yeah, for sure. Like, if someone's new, maybe introduce yourself and what you do, as opposed to, hey, I need a couple copies of this, or like, who are you?
My strategy is like always assume just everyone has authority over you until proven otherwise. Like just it. I mean, that you're probably past that in your career, but I'm not past that.
I
I
always
still have
ask
to.
questions like, "Why am I doing that? Who are you? You're an
That's fair.
assistant." Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but yeah, that's true.
Also,
'Cause
the new guys always get taken advantage
that is true. Like, and you were
because you
also
don't
in
know
the
who's who and what you're doing.
yeah, and your I guess what would I call it? Your duties and purview were kind of broad enough that you might not people could understand that they could come to you for certain things that they couldn't. Like they might just think like, oh, he's the marketing guy, therefore I can ask him to do anything marketing related.
Right.
Like not even though it's it's a lot more specified. So we were talking before about like this there's this list going around, and it's the meals that represent every state in America, and as according to
What's the website?
it's just a BuzzFeed thing, but
BuzzFeed.
yeah, BuzzFeed. We're not above BuzzFeed here. Let's not pretend we are. But it's decided by the people who live there. And there's just a huge spread in quality. Like, I feel like if people had to, like, see what the other guys were doing, and it's like when you do a project and you do it a certain way, and then you find out other people went way beyond what you did, and your thing looks like a piece of shit. Like, there's a huge spread in quality of, like, what people do. So, like, New Mexico's cuisine is, like, prime rib and shrimp.
Sure, there's some clickbait involved.
I mean, yeah, that too. But, like, so they probably just had to fill the list, because, like, who knows what they eat in Kansas. But,
Take that, Kansas.
I mean, Kansas, for anyone wondering, Kansas is chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes. So not bad, actually. But, Nevada's like prime rib and shrimp, casino food. Idaho's like elk steak glazed in huckleberries.
They
But
probably
then,
just Googled it. It's like, what's the state's favorite?
that's true. But then you get to Connecticut, and it's just like clam pizza. Clam pizza. That's
Come to Connecticut.
yeah. That's. Would you go to Connecticut to
No.
eat clam pizza? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but like, can you tell me what a garbage plate is?
Just like from what I know, it's just like a mashup of different items.
Oh, okay. That narrows it down nicely. So, is it a pasta dish or like
No, just I guess it depends on what kind of what you're referencing.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so take that, BuzzFeed. Your list is a piece of crap.
What is it?
I don't see that. All right, another reason your list sucks, BuzzFeed, is you don't actually explain what the hell anything is. Like, it has garbage plate, but it doesn't actually tell you what that means. Like,
Is that just their way of saying what an item is?
Well, no, so they'll have like a descriptor, but then they'll say, like, they'll have a quote from someone saying, like, yeah, chicken fried steak is definitely Oklahoma's meal of choice, but then they won't actually explain to you what that thing is. Now, a lot of it's like kind of self-explanatory, like, I know what clam chowder is, but like, what the hell is Runza, Nebraska? It looks like some kind of like pocket sandwich or something, but yeah, no, so this list was like not helpful in me learning about other cultures at all.
No.
No, so I learned nothing about any other states. I learned there's like this mysterious food, but I don't know.
Garbage plate.
Yeah, the New York garbage plate. It's not a thing. You can't just go to any restaurant.
Give me the garbage plate.
Give me the garbage plate. Get that garbage in here. No, it's just not going to work.
BuzzFeed.
Oh, BuzzFeed, you let me down. I expected so much from you. Yeah, but like, I mean, part of it is like, I don't know. It seems like there's a negative correlation between how good your state is and how good your dish is on the BuzzFeed list. So if you're a good state, you have a bad dish.
And these pictures are like horrible of like what these dishes are.
Okay, just for reference, everyone's looking at the clam pizza. So that's so you mentioned you wouldn't go to Connecticut for the clam pizza.
No.
So back to what we were talking about on cancel culture and whatnot. So some people want to rename Columbus, Ohio, because it's named after Christopher Columbus, and people don't like Christopher Columbus.
And they're also renaming the Washington Redskins.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because that's actually like a racial slur.
Well, even though he said he would never change the name.
Oh yeah, no, but we all knew he was going to do it. Like what? Like that'd be like calling your team like someone in the 30s calling their team like the N words or something like that, and then like we all know they're not going to last into the 21st century with that name. Like at some point, it's going to change.
I don't think he would have changed it unless because of what happened. But yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think he was prompted. Like, we're going with Redskins till I die.
Yeah, the weird thing is like he's not like an old man who's owned the team forever. Like he's a pretty young guy. It's a very weird choice. But I actually once saw a high school football team called the Redskins. Same logo, same jerseys. And but the twist is this was on a Navajo reservation in Arizona, so like they might as well call themselves the "It's Okay When We Do It," right. Which is fair. But
yeah, I mean there's a lot of cost with change.
No,
I'm sure he's got
true.
the money for it.
Exactly, they'll be fine. But so back to Ohio. One of the more popular suggestions is that they rename Columbus, Ohio, to Flavortown.
Guy Fieri.
Yeah, because Guy Fieri's from Columbus, Ohio. And I gotta say, like, I have no interest in going to Columbus, Ohio. However, if they change their name to Flavortown, USA, I might actually have to go. Like, it feels like it would attract, like, all sorts of food festivals, like, it's not very dignified for
people
a state capital.
Tips and dyeing their hair.
Yeah, with flame decals. It'll be like 2005 all day, every day. Yeah, no, like I would go to Flavortown. I wouldn't go to Columbus, Ohio, but I would go to Flavortown.
And then be disappointed when Guy Fieri doesn't introduce himself.
Yeah, show up with like a full rack of ribs and like a side of collard greens. Or is that what he drives?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea.
I haven't seen any shows lately.
Yeah, okay, me neither. Yeah,
I know he has a lot of them.
I've been trying to lose weight, so I can't. I can't
watch Guy Fieri?
I can't watch it. Yeah. So, I'll make an exception going to Flavortown, USA. So you heard that here, Columbus. I will go to you
if you change the name.
If you change the name, yeah. Because oh man, the Midwest is just weird because all the cities look the same. Like Indianapolis, Cleveland, and Columbus all look exactly the same.
You've been there?
Yeah, I've been to all three on the same road trip. They all have like this small downtown, like no condos, all office buildings, and like it's all about the same size. And the tallest building is always the Key Bank building, which is like a regional bank for
that everyone goes to.
Yeah, the Great Lakes region, and it's just when I got to Columbus from Cleveland. I just thought, like, wait, we must have made a wrong turn. But, but there's no Great Lakes here, so I guess this is Columbus. It's just Cleveland, but further inland. It was very weird.
Cleveland rocks.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing about Cleveland. Cleveland has the best museum I've been to in North America. Like, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is an amazing museum. Like, you ever been to a museum and there's only, like, 3 things that are really cool?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So I've been to a few museums, and there's like
I haven't been to a lot of museums.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no. So like, if you go to a museum, you're going to be excited by maybe 2 or 3 things, like if any at all. Whereas like every single thing at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is cool. Like it's like here's the couch Jimi Hendrix OD'd on. Here's the jacket John Lennon got shot in. Here's his guitar from the Love-In in Montreal.
Right.
Yeah. No. It's like. Everything in the museum, like there's no filler in that museum. It's just like high quality throughout. It's I don't know. It's like a bowl of Lucky Charms, but it's only marshmallows. That's what that museum is.
And was it crowded when you went?
Not like particularly. Cleveland's not a big city. I don't think a lot of people go to Cleveland
or museum.
I mean,
in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I mean, it is the thing to see in Cleveland. I think that's more like. That's an indictment of Cleveland itself, not necessarily the museum. But, good for you, Cleveland, for having the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You gotta
put you on something. The
map. Yeah, exactly. There's really no reason to go otherwise. But I was thinking, like, maybe Toronto should change its name to Flavortown, USA.
No,
you don't want to do it? Yeah. I'm just there for the jokes. Like, I want us to be called like Flavortown USA, like Flavortown, USA, Canada. Like, just I'll never get mail
Out of
again.
people.
Yeah, exactly. No more mail ever. Like, they can't send you junk mail if it's all going to the States. Like, that's how I'm getting out of junk mail. That's Toronto's fate. I believe in it. Yeah.
You get a lot of junk mail though.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you can't really do like a random flyer thing with.
COVID.
Well, I guess you could. I'm trying to think. Like, you know, you can't. It's like it's such a weird concept now to just like litter in your house as a form of advertising. It's just like stuff with my product on it.
So much junk.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened there. This is not going to be a neat transition at all, but there's no segue for this at all. I was curious the other day as to like who the highest paid president is, like who the highest paid head of state or head of government is in the world.
You got a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, exactly. This is my COVID hobby, like, you know, going into Wikipedia freefall. So the first couple ones aren't very interesting. Like, you know, it's the King of Saudi Arabia. The King of Saudi Arabia gets like $9 billion a year, but that's because like the government is his personal property, basically. So like his pay is the company's pay. Everyone's just on allowance from the king, and then you got like the Queen of England, King of Thailand, and so like all the top ones are just monarchs, like emperors, kings, sultans, what have you. And so the first republic you get on the list is Singapore. But I'm going to say Singapore also doesn't count because Singapore's current prime minister is the son of the founder of Singapore. So that doesn't count. You're a monarch.
You get to buy.
Exactly. You get categorized with like the King of Jordan and the Emperor of Japan. Like that's a monarchy.
Right.
Yeah. But so here's the interesting part. The highest paid world leader who isn't a king is the president of Iraq.
Mind blown.
Mind blown. Yeah. So I'm just saying, I don't think he deserves to get paid that much.
Why not?
Well, so first of all, I don't think they've done a very good job. I don't think Iraq's very nice to visit. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I've never been to Iraq. I've seen Iraq from a distance, but never actually been. But I've not heard good things.
Not on your bucket list.
Which I'll be a little forgiving. A lot of that's not your fault, but I just don't think it's a well-deserved salary. For context, the Iraqi president makes $800,000 a year, compared to the U.S. president who makes $400,000 a year. Yeah, so this you know, you could argue like Trump doesn't deserve the $400K. That's fine, but I'm just saying the president of Iraq probably does not deserve a salary that high. Like, you know, you got to be a good country to justify.
What are you trying to say?
Like, you got to be doing well to justify a salary that high.
I guess they're doing really well.
Apparently. All right. If we're measuring how well you're doing based on salary, Iraq's doing great. But and a few other interesting things on this list is that you and I both make more money than a lot of world leaders. For instance, the president, Xi Jinping, the president of China, officially only makes $22,000 a year.
Take that, China.
Take that, China. So, I mean, obviously that's nonsense, though. Like
they're obviously hiding something.
Yeah, he's got to make more money than that. He's got to have like stock options in China or something.
The TikTok money.
Get all that TikTok money. Yeah, all that TikTok money is going to some fancy apartment.
Global.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, global news' TikTok is going right to Xi Jinping. And then like, but. A funny part is that the chief executive of Hong Kong makes $500K, whereas Xi makes $22K. I don't think he'd let the leader of China make more money then. That just doesn't seem like something he'd allow.
Me Too movement.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's like a vindication of women's equality.
Yeah.
Because if you could say like. Of heads of state in China, women make 10 times more than men because there's only the two people.
Right.
Yeah, Carrie Lam makes 20 times more than Xi Jinping. Women, it's a huge inequality of wages. So the funny part is like there's not necessarily a correlation with how good your country is with how well paid your leader is. It's a weird list, but
a list nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what to draw from this. Only that, like, if you want to be a president of any country, I would definitely recommend Iraq.
Did you scroll this through like one of your breaks?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I just thought like that cannot be right. He cannot be the richest president. Then I realized it's probably hazard pay.
COVID makes you scroll through weird shit.
No, exactly. That's probably the weirdest thing I've looked up during COVID. I mean, except my Chinese coworkers made me look up a Chinese slang term, which I should not have Googled on my work VPN, which is, you ever heard this one? Wear a green hat.
No.
So I thought it was, like, I had a vague memory of it, like that it was for a hat for a male prostitute.
Okay.
Like back in one of the dynasties, they made male prostitutes wear green hats. And it turns out it's kind of right, and it's like men who worked in the sex trade had to wear green hats, but these are like pimps. So to say you wear a green hat, you're pimping out your girlfriend. So it's basically a way of saying you're a cuck. But
so has anyone worn a green hat?
Not at work. I mean, I wouldn't even know. Everyone's at
no Zoom meetings with green hats.
No. Oh, my boss is great. He just decided he doesn't want to do video calls.
Yeah, Zoom meetings are exhausting. You just see everyone's personal life. You just don't want to see it.
Oh yeah, no.
And some people are like super dolled up, and some just don't give a fuck. And
exactly. I think my boss just wants to wear his pajamas all day, and that's why that's
some
why
people really love it and need it because otherwise they just won't get up and do anything.
I mean, yeah, but I like it because like no one does the video part of the Zoom calls, which is great. Like I can just wear a t-shirt to work every day.
I love the audio ones too.
Yeah, audio ones are better.
Phone call, just no video.
Yeah.
I don't need to see your face.
No, yeah, I don't want to see anyone's face. But I do love when like people's personal lives just like invade their house. Dogs
barking, babies crying.
My favorite one is my buddy. He was on a Zoom call and his I'm not sure if it was his CEO or some executive at his company, and his kid was like taking a lesson at Catholic school or something. He had to write an essay about it. And he said, "Yo, the Bible's fucking retarded." Like right in the middle of the meeting. It was amazing. But oh man, that kid is getting his ass kicked so bad after this. Like there is an ass whooping of a lifetime coming after this.
I wish I was on that Zoom.
Yeah, like it's an ass whooping so legendary that I know about it. It's like, you don't speak during the Zoom call.
Well, also a lot of people don't know how to mute their mics because they haven't done it before. It's like once you minimize that the call is over, they can't see you, and that's not the case.
Yeah, they just let out a huge fart at the end of it.
Or go in the washroom or take a shower.
Oh, Christ. The worst I ever had was it was the start of a Zoom meeting, and I think a guy thought he turned off his mic and just let out a huge burp beforehand.
I think there was some article or news of like some reporter or government official who had a Zoom Italian, and he just took the laptop in his washroom and took a shower, and everyone saw his job. And then he resigned after.
What? Oh, that's not okay, maybe a little
because
bit.
The shame and like want to like represent the company negative.
I mean, from the company. Like if it's a company, I kind of get it, but
I don't think it was forced though. He just did it because he felt bad.
I don't know. It's an honest mistake. It's I wouldn't resign over everyone seeing my dick. I might resign over, people not thinking I'm competent because I can't turn off a fucking Zoom call and they think I'm just some incompetent boomer.
But you're the IT guy.
I'm absolutely not the IT guy. Look at the color of my skin. No one at our company would even believe I'm the IT guy.
I mean, no one knows who works there. Maybe who the new employees are. It's like, hey.
That's true.
I mean, you can be whatever you want when you go back to work. Just roll up.
Ooh,
As,
true.
like,
No one really knows what I look
in
like.
like a suit and be like, "Yep, I run
I'm in
things."
charge now.
Who's the
Like,
new
just
guy?
basically stage a coup when I go back. Ooh, or I could, because if everyone wears masks at work, I could just pretend to be one of my bosses. But, I mean, I don't think that will work, just because my one boss is Chinese and I'm not. So I think they'd see through that pretty quickly. Yeah,
They get canceled real quick.
yeah, I don't think they'd believe. I don't think they'd believe me.
I remember seeing that if you follow Bon Appetit on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
their editor resigned. It was a Halloween party dressed up as a Puerto Rican.
Oh,
And they found that, and then just like a lot of shit hit the fan with him, and then he resigned. And
oh, doesn't he live in New York though?
Yep.
Oh, that's
why you haven't seen any
Damn.
Bon Appetit videos
that's
for
funny.
a while.
That's weird to like. I mean, okay. I mean, if you didn't live in New York, Puerto Rican would just be a weirdly specific one. But like, you know, if you're in New York, you're probably gonna run into Puerto Rican people. So it's, I don't know. That seems like an exceptionally poor choice.
And then people dug deeper, and like there was a lot of like racial problem with certain people not getting paid the same way as.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Like they're like
on camera.
Wasn't it that they got everyone who wasn't white, like, okay, you make ethnic food and then white people can make whatever they want.
Or we'll get one of the ethnic people to chime in.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, fair enough. That sucks pretty hard. Like that's probably worse, like, you know, for people's livelihood than the actual costume. So
yeah, but I mean, the costume provoked that from happening.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. So, all right, good for the costume. Good for the costume.
Bad for the person.
Yes, bad for the guy. But now one of their Indian hosts can make burgers and fries like they always wanted,
or
to.
not have a job,
or not have a job. We'll see how it pans out. They're either going to make.
I think everyone's not having a job there.
And it's like, I've always wanted to make white people tacos, and this is my time to shine. This is
how you really do it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm so sick of making Indian food. I just want to make a grilled cheese.
Forget authentic tacos.
Yeah, exactly. Funny enough, I've actually heard Mexican people say, like, so they'll say white people tacos are not real tacos, but they still like them.
What's a white people taco?
A white people taco is like Taco Bell, like a taco with like ground beef and cheddar cheese.
Okay.
Like instead of like, I don't know, like pulled beef and cilantro and onions and stuff. Like the difference between like a street taco you get from like an actual Mexican person
as opposed to Taco Bell.
As opposed to Taco Bell, or like you know the old El Paso taco kits. Like no one. Like no self-respecting Mexican would call it a taco, but like they'd call it like, I don't know, like white people tacos or gringo tacos, and they'd still eat it, but like it's just funny how like it's like the culture like moved to America and then went back, like altered and then came back. It's just this.
I mean, that's why they took off Aunt Jemima's face off the.
What about it?
Her face is going to be.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So there's an interesting thing about that. So one of the models for Aunt Jemima from the 60s, her son's still alive, and he wants to continue using the Aunt Jemima logo, but he also was involved in a failed lawsuit for unpaid royalties from whichever company makes Aunt Jemima, PepsiCo, I think. Yeah. And so in that sense, like, I think part of the problem that I've heard a lot of people say about Aunt Jemima is like it's using black people to advertise a product from which they don't benefit at all. So it's like white people using black people for advertising, but they're not getting their fair share. And then I thought, like, no one would object to, you know, a black-owned business having a black person on their product. But how much is too little is where I'm getting with this. Like, how... So if her children got a 3% royalty from Aunt Jemima sales, so her image isn't stolen, does that make it better, or does it have to be 100%?
Depends on if they're still making royalties off of it? If they're not, what are they going to change it to? Is it going to be another person's face?
Yeah, I mean,
Is the
obviously,
whole name going to change?
yeah, like obviously people have problems like beyond just using the imagery and white people profiting it. Like there's also like her being a slave stereotype, but so there's a lot of layers to that one. But I thought it's interesting that he still wants it to be used, and obviously is a financial incentive to do so. But
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
wondering how little is too little? Like how much black ownership of that product would there have to be before it would be okay? Because I think maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe some people would say it's never okay, even if black people own the whole company,
Right.
CEO of PepsiCo, chairman, etc. But I think some people would say if it was a black-owned business, it would be
It'd
okay.
be okay.
Yeah. And you watch the Killer Mike
Yep.
thing where he tries to live black for a week. Yeah.
That was interesting.
It was interesting, but I feel like he didn't have like a good set of parameters.
I mean, he just went off the cuff and tried to see how it panned out.
Yeah, no, like I get what he's trying to do, but I mean like he was a little hard on himself, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like because he went to a restaurant, a black-owned restaurant to eat, and he said, "Ah, crap, the farm isn't black-owned, therefore I can't eat this food." But I mean, global supply chains being what they are, you can't really do you need like the tractors
How
to
deep
be
do you have to go, right?
exact? That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
like do the tractors the farmers use have to be black owned? Like, does the oil in their gas tanks have to be from Nigeria? And I just don't think you could actually do it. Like, you can't have if you was to be a super purist, you couldn't actually
Like fully sourced.
Yeah. And you couldn't do it with any race, basically. Like you couldn't buy exclusively black or white or Asian products. Yeah. Maybe if you're North Korean, you could buy Korean only products, but I don't think you have much of a choice in that. Yeah. But I get what he means though. Like he's still like going within the spirit of it, but just like, Mike, I know you wanted those ribs. You could have eaten them. I wouldn't have thought less of you for eating them.
Right.
Yeah. There's he had to maintain the integrity of the project as he saw it.
Right. Kimmel had to delete his posts because I think he did a segment where he dressed up as Karl Malone. The
basketball player?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he apologized for that.
But,
just because everyone's just been...
Wait, sorry. Which one is Kimmel and which one is Fallon? I've been over this several times and I still don't know.
Fallon's the guy who's got the fake laugh and just on Tonight Show. And
okay, yeah.
He's more like the family guy where he employs like a lot of his best friends.
Which one's got like the jarhead haircut?
I think that's Kimmel.
Oh, okay, Kimmel. Okay, yes, good. Yeah, and he's the one who looks kind of like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Like not totally, but like if there's an SNL sketch with Sheldon, he'd be the one who played him. Yeah.
He looks more kind of like a guy on Brooklyn.
Andy Samberg?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I can see that. Andy Samberg's way older than I expected. Sorry, Andy, but I mean that's actually a compliment.
Yeah. If you're listening, Andy.
Yeah. But you do not look like you're in your 40s. But back to Jimmy. Which one is it? Fallon or Kimmel?
Kimmel.
Oh no, Fallon. You ever see Band of Brothers?
I did.
Band of Brothers, more than any other piece of media.
Which was good.
Which was fantastic. More than any other piece of media, like, kind of decided the male leads for 10 years later. Like, it's got James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jimmy Fallon, Tom Hardy. Like, just all the English leading men, like, in very minor bit parts. And you kind of have to, like, look close to see them, but they're there. And so, they're all kind of not quite extras, like they have speaking roles, but, they're still there, but you got to look for them.
Hidden gems.
Exactly, hidden gems. So this movie just decided who would be famous 10 years from then.
Right.
Oh, and Sam Rockwell's in it as well. And David Schwimmer in his only non-Ross role that I know off the top of my head.
I can't imagine marketing that series because of all the celebrity to fit that all on like a poster or any type of kind of like marketing material. was talking earlier, like having done like movie posters and stuff, like that's a headache just in itself. Having to like all the billing kind of credits you have to put in, who's more famous, and they have their own contracts of like appear first, and that's why if you see any like movie posters, the faces will never kind of align with the names of whoever the actor is or actress.
Yeah.
It's always kind of like splits from left to right of where the credits are played.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah.
And they pay a lot of money to get that name there.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
In
Like,
countries.
yeah, like there was that Chinese movie a while ago that just that just had Matt Damon basically, so his name could be on that poster, pretty much.
Yep.
So that's interesting.
Movie posters are a headache.
Oh yeah, so just for context, you designed the poster for one of my favorites, Ridley Scott's American Gangster, another all-star film. It's got Josh Brolin kind of between Goonies and Marvel. So you designed that. It's very cool. It's a Scarface-y poster.
Yeah, very kind of black and white, retro. Definitely inspired by Scarface.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I really like that. That was a cool poster. It was like, it's simple, but it like, you know what the movie is about based on the design, and that's really cool.
And two main actors, so you couldn't kind of mess up.
You didn't fit Josh Brolin on it.
Josh Brolin, who?
Yeah, no, fair enough. He wasn't that famous at the time, I guess. But he's just the guy from the Goonies.
Right, so that's why whenever you have like a lot of movies with a lot of cast, like you see a lot of like floating head posters
that's fair.
Of hierarchy.
You didn't put RZA on the poster. RZA is in that movie, and he's not on the poster.
You gotta leave someone out.
I guess, yeah. RZA, man. So just so the audience
also,
knows.
yeah, and like the big studios, they don't give a shit about the posters.
Oh, yeah? Like, not even a little bit?
No. As long as contractually obligated names appear where they're supposed to be and their faces, and they can sell off the poster, then they'll like it.
Okay, so actually, that reminds me of something, and you got to answer this. I've always wondered this. So there's a couple movies I've seen where the trailer has nothing to do with the movie.
Right.
I'm talking about Kangaroo Jack. If anyone remembers Kangaroo Jack, that was from like the early aughts, and if you were a child back then, you went to the theaters to see Kangaroo Jack because there's a 5-second clip of like a cartoon talking kangaroo wears a sweater. But when you get to the theater, you find out that 5-second clip is all there is. There's only 5 seconds of the talking kangaroo, and it's in a dream. It's not real. Like, there's no actual talking kangaroo, and the movie is really, really boring.
Yep.
They also did that with, like, almost the exact same thing with Snow Dogs. Like, the talking animals were all a dream. They were trying to trick the kids into the theater, and I will never forgive you, Hollywood. Never forgive you. You got me twice on that. Sorry, so my question about that is like, is it the same? You said the studios don't care about the poster. Is it the same thing with the trailer, and is that why trailers can have nothing to do with the actual movie?
Pretty much. The reason why like trailers or teasers are either they share too much or not enough is because the studios usually have to make kind of like a product of what the movie and kind of sell what the movie is before it actually gets made or before they actually shoot it. So they have kind of like a summary of what this movie is going to be like, and then they have to sell it, and we got to use this pre-trailer to sell the whole movie after it's done. So that's where you get like a lot of whole stories within the trailer, and I just watched this trailer. Why am I going to the movies and watching this? Because they had to summarize what that whole movie is to sell it.
Okay, that makes sense. But it's a tough balancing act, just because like you said, you want people to actually go see the movie and not just the trailer. But at the same time, you have to make sure people know what the movie's about, so if they're interested, they go see it. Like, a movie I never thought I'd see was Arrival, because, the trailer kind of makes it seem like, oh, it's an alien first contact movie, it doesn't seem very interesting, there's no real violence or anything, it seems kind of drab, but it's a really good movie.
Right, I mean, it also depends on the studio's budget. Like, sometimes they'll shoot a whole new trailer based on the footage after it gets made to highlight what it's about. And that's why you'll see some really good trailers, and a lot of them are just really shitty.
Yeah. One of my favorite trailers is Overlord, or Nazi Zombies the movie. It's very intense, very very violent, very like gets your blood pumping to see this movie.
And does the movie deliver?
it doesn't. Kind of. So that's the thing.
Surprisingly.
That's the thing. So like it's one of the best trailers I've ever seen, but because like they basically made a montage of the exciting parts of the movie, and I would say this is probably a successful trailer because it would get me to go see it. And I don't think it ruined the movie for me
Right.
seeing it, but yeah, the montage was just better suited
And that's
to get
probably
me
what,
excited.
that's
And it
probably
just
what
was,
made the studios buy it.
yeah, and it just wasn't the movie itself just wasn't as exciting. Which it's not a bad movie. It's just
Not a good movie.
no, I wouldn't even say that. It's just like it's not nearly as exciting as the trailer.
Overhyped.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I'm hesitant to even call it overhyped because that in that way it's just good marketing. The trailer didn't lie to me. Like the movie is about exactly what the trailer says it's about. Like
You just over expect.
yeah, exactly. It was more. It's not even lying about the tone really. It's just like. And that this is kind of the nature of the commercial. The pacing was a little faster. Yeah, so that,
Threw you off.
yeah, threw me off. Threw me off pretty bad. No, King Kong's like that too. Just you ever see the 2005 King Kong?
Who's in that?
Jack
Actress?
Black, Jack Black, Adrian Brody are the
I did
main
not
guys.
see that.
Okay.
They had Jack Black.
You refuse to see Jack Black
Or
movies?
King Kong movies in general.
You won't see King Kong movies.
I see the older ones, but not the most recent.
Kong Skull Island is great. For some reason it has the whole cast of the NWA movie.
Wow.
Yeah, like they just like, hey, you guys want to be in the King Kong movie after playing Dr. Dre and Eazy-E? You seem like you'll be perfect. And as John C. Reilly, who plays they're on an island and he plays like a crashed World War II pilot, and it's the 70s, so he's been there for a couple decades, and he shot down a Japanese pilot who was there with him, and so they kind of had to learn to live with each other and work together, kind of get over their animosity to one another. Touching in that way.
Touching King Kong.
Yeah, exactly. The touching Kong Skull Island movie. But
I've yet to see it.
but so the 2005 one, it's kind of boring just because it lingers too much.
As expected.
Yeah, like it lingers too much on nothing. Like on shots that don't really accomplish anything. They don't set anything up. There's no
Filler shots?
Yeah, exactly. It just stays there. And the movie's like 3 hours, so it really doesn't need to be there. And I found I was like playing at double time, and it was still too slow. It was like, okay, stop looking at the door, stop looking at the child.
Was it longer than The Irishman?
No, nothing's longer than The Irishman. Tanim and I made the terrible mistake of actually seeing The Irishman in theaters. Even though, everyone normally watched it on Netflix in 20-minute chunks, we went to see it in theaters. And we did not look up how long it was.
So long.
It's almost 4 hours. Like, with rounding, it's comfortably... Like, if you round it, it's 4 hours.
Pace yourself.
Yeah, that was a long, long movie. Like, I didn't have any problem, like, I didn't have to piss really badly at the end of the movie, but, like my ass was very sore by the end of it. Like, watching The Irishman in one sitting is painful.
It's hard to do. It's a rough time.
Yeah, I don't think I could watch 2 movies in a row.
Like that long, or just in general?
No, not that. I just mean like 2 2-hour movies. That movie was basically the same as 2 2-hour movies. So like a double feature. And like some of the drive-in... So because of COVID, all the drive-ins are opening up. And a lot of the drive-ins do like double features. So they'll do like, okay, we do Jaws and then we do E.T. and you can watch both. I don't think I can do it.
Did you go to that?
No, I haven't gone yet.
Not
but
yet?
I don't think I can do it. I do a double feature that's like each is 90 minutes. So like the Grindhouse double feature where it's Planet Terror and...
it's like a Netflix episode.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're 80 minutes each. So it's a little under 3 hours for the double feature. Not bad.
Yeah.
But like 2 like full-length movies, can't do it. Like that's not a thing I can do. Yeah, it would just... Like, I'd get to the end... Because...
You can always sleep in your car.
Yeah. I also like... Yeah, that's true, I guess. I don't like sleeping in cars, though. Yeah. But you notice, like, movies kind of between like 80 minutes and, let's say, 2 hours, 10 minutes, like, they don't... Or even 2.5 hours, they don't feel that much longer than each other.
Yeah.
Like, it
Also
feels
depends on
about
the
the same
movie
amount of
too,
time.
right.
Yeah, that is true. Like, pacing has a lot to do with it. Like,
Sometimes if it's slow at the beginning and then picks up, you're like, what did I just watch for the first hour?
yeah. We were talking about Enemy earlier. You've seen Enemy?
Yeah.
So Enemy is an interesting movie. It's by Canadian filmmaker Denis Villeneuve, who also made Blade Runner 2049, Sicario, Arrival, and Prisoners, and the new Dune movie, hopefully coming out in 2020. Quote unquote 2020. But so he made this movie Enemy, which Toronto listeners, there's a lot of Toronto in this movie. It is aggressively in Toronto, and it doesn't try and hide it. It doesn't try to pretend it's not Toronto. Like the CN Towers in a bunch of shots. The Marilyn Monroe buildings in Mississauga play prominently.
It's like Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Scott Pilgrim, but not nearly as fun. But so that movie's only 90 minutes. It feels much longer.
Yeah.
Like when you get to the end, you're like, it's been more than.
What did I watch?
Yeah. What the hell was that? I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but there's a bit of a surprise there at the end. The ending's kind of like it comes out of nowhere, and the thing you will say at the end of the movie is what the fuck. Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's only 90 minutes, but it's you either say okay or what the fuck. Like those are the only two actual responses.
And then you Google what the whole thing was about.
Yes, exactly, and
It defeats the purpose of watching the movie because you didn't get it the first time.
Yeah, that's fair. It really doesn't hold your hand though, so I really didn't get it the first time. Mostly because like when I actually was starting to get it, I thought like, oh no, that must be wrong. Like there's a scene, the scene with his mother, I get two of the characters mixed up. So I think it's one of the characters, but it's actually the other one. And I thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. That means they're... I can't really... I don't want to spoil it, but everyone who wants to watch it, stop listening for like 30 seconds. Okay, so when he was with his mother, I thought I was watching one of the characters... I thought I was watching the school teacher.
Which was the other character.
But then she... talks about his acting career, but it's still actually the guy, and I was right, and I got confused, and then realized like, okay, they're the same person. But it was the ending is spiders, by the way. Like there's just spiders out of nowhere. Spoilers. Okay, spoilers over. Yeah. So that was interesting. I don't want to say I'm disappointed by the movie, but it was definitely a little confusing. I don't know if I like it better now that yeah. Which is why I don't think I actually like it more now that I get it, A lot
of movies are like that.
Yeah, it didn't actually help. Whereas other movies, I find I've come to appreciate them a little more if I understand what they're actually going for.
A lot of people didn't get the Witcher series at first because there's different timelines.
Yeah.
They all thought it happened at the same time. And no, there's a bunch of different timelines that kind of intersect together at the end. So.
Yeah. It's especially confusing because, like, in a medieval setting, there's not really, like, markers of what... Like,
of time lapse.
Exactly. Like, 1280 looks basically like 1370. Yeah. Like, they're a long time apart, but they nothing meaningful, at least for me, could be discerned from like costume or setting.
Clothes went from light brown to dark brown.
Exactly, yeah. Like it just wouldn't happen. So I actually like the reason I kind of gave up halfway through it for the reasons you're suggesting, which is like I didn't get it because there were all these timeline skips, and I did get that there were timeline skips. It's just that I didn't watch far enough in that all the timelines could be part of a cohesive whole.
Right.
Like, I didn't think of them as being part of the same story. I didn't see how the stories related to one another. So do you think, like, you kind of have to know the video games a little bit to get it, or...
No, because the video games don't work that way. It's fairly linear. Like.
No, but I mean, like, get this. Like, if you have to know the lore to get the show.
No, I think they do a good job of explaining it. Like, there's so much more detailed.
Okay. All right, so good to know. I'm just an idiot. Well, that still makes less sense to me. Just like,
watch it, yeah.
All right, fine, I'll watch it. But
if you know going into it that there's different timelines, it'll make a lot more sense.
No, so like I did figure that out. It's just like it wasn't. Maybe I just need to watch.
Obvious off the bat, yeah. It's not.
Yeah, it's not obvious off the bat. Like I figured it out maybe like 3 episodes in, but it still didn't help because like to me, like, all the stories were very separate. Whereas, like, Game of Thrones is similar in that, like, it starts out with all these different storylines, but you immediately kind of understand how they relate to one another. Like, well, maybe not completely. I rewatched the first season of Game of Thrones, and it made a lot more, like, there's stuff, there were plot points that I just totally overlooked. Like, who killed John Aaron? Like, I totally forgot that John Aaron getting assassinated is what set off the whole thing.
Spoilers.
Yeah, because it's just, oh, come on, that happens the first episode.
I mean, some people haven't watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but it doesn't count. The setup for the first episode is John Aaron was assassinated. I didn't say who killed him, but, like, it ultimately, it seems to be inconsequential who did by the end of it.
People
like,
die in that series.
Yeah, like, but you just forget about it. Like, that's the thing that's set up. Like, in Game of Thrones, you just forget about shit that happened in the first season because it took so long.
Yeah, Netflix came out with like a release a couple years ago saying that it usually takes 4 to 5 episodes of a series for someone to.
That seems like a lot.
It is, but I mean that's why a lot of it series are short, like 8 episodes.
Okay, fair enough. I guess that makes sense. It's just, yeah, no, it's like, because 5 episodes is a commitment. With Breaking Bad, I figured, like, I wanted to watch this pretty quickly. Game of Thrones is a bit of a slow burn at the beginning, so, like, I can see Game of Thrones.
Breaking Bad was a bit slow in the beginning, though.
I know, but they did a good job at, like, kind of starting where it got exciting, and then you want to know, like, because he starts out, like, pointing the gun down.
Yeah, it builds up to it.
Yeah. You want to know what happened to get him there.
Yep.
But, man, Game of Thrones is, like, I can't watch it. I don't think I can watch it again from the beginning, because I know, well, now I know what happens, and I know it's a bad show. Like, the ending has retroactively ruined the whole thing, because I know, like, you know, you spend the whole time thinking, how is it going to be resolved?
Who's going to die?
Exactly, and I think it's kind of ruined for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, like, everyone's got their own opinion of how they wanted it to end, and
yeah,
obviously, most of the series was based off the books, and then a lot of the books were made after to continue, so that's why they're saying that a lot of the storyline was shitty.
Yeah, which, like, I think the thing that bothers me the most is there's a bunch of plot lines that get abandoned kind of hastily at the end.
That's like with every book.
Yeah, and then, which, to be fair, is not necessarily Weiss and Benioff's fault, because, like, I'm almost certain that George R.R. Martin doesn't know what to do with some of these plot lines either.
He just adds to it, yeah.
Exactly. So, like all the shit in Karth, he doesn't know what to do with it. That's a huge plot line that was just dropped, and it's never going to come up even when he writes the books. But it's the fact that I know those certain things don't have a resolution, and a lot of questions don't get answered, that kind of ruins the show.
Watching it again?
Yeah. Like, because you ultimately never find out, spoilers, who the White Walkers are, how they're there, and why they do what they do. You ultimately learn nothing about them. And I feel like you were supposed to. Like, I wanted to know what they were. And
more
what their
backstory?
Was. Yeah, like, I wanted to understand, like, their motivation and, like, how it tied in to the rest of the story. But it was just kind of hastily tied up, and a lot of things didn't get explained. I don't fault Martin for some of what he does, because I get that he kills people off at inconvenient times, not just to keep the reader on their toes, but I think because he thinks literature should kind of reflect real life and real history.
And Shakespeare, a lot of his stuff. That's why he kills off characters.
I mean, that too, but also, like, people die at inconvenient times. I think he would say people die at inconvenient times in his show because people die at inconvenient times in real life.
Yep.
Like the 100 Years' War, like, you know, Henry V sets himself up to be King of France as long as he outlives the current King of France, and then he just dies of a disease at the age of 35 out of nowhere. And that's kind of the thing that happens in real life, but not in movies.
Yeah, you don't expect it, especially when the character gets built.
Exactly, yeah. Like, you know, we want stories to be about our own agency, like, not things we don't have control over.
And characters to live on and kind of pass on.
Exactly, yeah.
What they know and knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think we wouldn't like a story ruled by, like, the randomness of nature and not, like, the motivation and determinations of its characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they just need to start making like villain movies solely based on like the other side.
Like, you mean like Suicide Squad?
No, not
Tanim wants more
not
Suicide Squad.
not bad villain movies, good ones.
Give me an example. Like what's a villain movie, or does one really exist?
I mean, Joker was a good one.
Okay, yeah, that is more of a villain movie than an anti-hero.
Yeah, but I mean, like they could have made Venom so much better.
Yeah, Venom.
He's a villain. He's not a good guy. He's not trying to help and like have he's got a split personality, but kills people and doesn't give a shit.
But I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make them interesting characters.
But you only see one side of all like hero movies. Like there's a hero and the villain, and the hero always wins.
But I almost feel like if you told a villain's story from their perspective, then they're the hero.
I mean, that's what they did with like Breaking Bad.
Yeah, and not even necessarily
Dexter.
just an anti-hero. Like it's like, because you understand their motivations going all the way through, like it necessary, or well, not necessarily, but like, I mean, for a good story, they'd have to have a compelling motivation beyond just being evil. And I think if they went through that and established that, and the hero was just kind of someone who was in their way, then they're immediately the villain is the hero, like just from the point of view of the story.
I guess it depends on how you kind of sculpt it.
Yes. But also Batman is a villain. Like, just unironically, Batman is a villain. Batman is just like a billionaire who goes around beating up poor people for fun. Yeah. Like, he just does like extrajudicial ass kicking. That's what Batman does. So I think you probably do like I don't know, like people are talking about like defunding the police, and like police are kind of archetypal good guys in our mythology, and heroes are kind of the same thing in that like they make society better through ass kicking, and and people are kind of starting to question whether that's actually good for society.
Well, there's a line to that, right?
No, yeah, obviously. I think there are situations where ass kicking is required, but I think generally there's probably too many situations where ass kickers are assigned to do non-ass kicking jobs. I guess I would put my views on that way. I'm not like some people like think if you just have robust social programs that no one will ever do anything bad, but I don't think that's true. Like, Ted Bundy didn't do bad things because he was underprivileged necessarily, or Jeffrey Dahmer didn't do bad things because he was underprivileged, but maybe he's psychologically disturbed. You can certainly argue that, but I think at the very least, serial killers I think will always exist. There's something, like some people are just born that way. Like I think a minority of people are born monsters, like of people who end up being criminals. I think like it's a very small amount of people who are arrested and go to jail, and even among murderers, like it's probably a minority. Yeah, there's definitely some people who just can't be in society, like through one means or another. Like they're just like Ed Kemper.
Not meant to be, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ed Kemper is just like killed his grandparents at age 15. Really smart guy. He's on the top of my list of people I'd never want to be in prison with.
Why?
Well, so he's interesting for kind of two reasons. So like the first is that despite like the stereotype of serial killers being intelligent, most serial killers are idiots. Like they're not very intelligent people. Like they're often of below average intelligence because people who are psychopaths and are intelligent realize that it's self-destructive, and so go about their lives a little more rationally, and they don't kill people because they have empathy. They don't kill people because they realize it's not in their interests.
Yeah.
Whereas Ed Kemper still kills people, but he has like a significantly above average intelligence, like to the point where he was like able to trick prison psychologists into letting him out and continue killing people.
There's your next movie.
But also he's a huge guy. Like he's like 6'8", 300 pounds. Like he would just rip me to pieces. and then do funny shit to my body. Like,
sign him up, Netflix.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, he was already on Mindhunter, so
Right.
we already got him. But like, so I don't know. I think he's probably broken soul of sorts. Like just born wrong. But maybe I'm wrong on that. But anyway, there you have my contemplation on human nature.
Keep contemplating.
Exactly. That's what you should do, people. Keep contemplating. And with that, I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. You can find us on all your favorite podcast platforms. And don't forget to follow us on social media, podcast_above on Twitter, and the Above Average Podcast everywhere else. See you guys next time.
See you guys later.
Hello.